You know what feels even better than selling all our stuff to move into the RV?
Burning it.
Yep.
Hey roamers, I'm Jamie.
I'm Linda.
And this is Roaming with Rosie.
And if you're new here, let's bring you up to date on how we're approaching a location-independent life.
We've decided there's too much risk in putting off our dreams until retirement. And what is retirement these days anyways?
And during this time of Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and end of the year clearance sales, it seems like a lot of people get caught up in accumulating stuff and trying to find fulfillment in that.
And I don't think that's necessarily their intent. I just think that planning for the future just seems to be hopeless.
They've just given in to constant temptation and living in the moment.
And I think, you know, they're reaching and grabbing for something to make them happy while they're just kind of working their lives away. And, you know, maybe planning for the future and retirement just seems to be something that's just too far off in the future, or maybe even impossible.
Right. So let's talk about stuff. The things that you think you need or you justify that you need, like, do you really need it?
And advertising is everywhere we are these days, where there's social media, electronic billboards, all competing for your attention.
And they all make it look like if you just buy that appliance or these new power tools or that outfit or the new shoes, a purse, it makes you feel like, oh, you'll have eternal happiness if you just buy it.
Right, and what about those car commercials?
Oh my gosh, right? The December to Remember with that shiny new car with the big red bow in the driveway and the house that's almost a mansion up on the hill and the happy couple and their kids come out. Remember, they're actors.
And yeah, that's right. It's all fake, people.
Yeah. We know what we want. We want freedom. We want the freedom to go where we want and when we want as much as possible.
And we don't want to wait till we're 70-something like the government seems to think we should.
They're constantly telling us to put off retirement as long as possible because now we're going to live longer than maybe our parents did or our grandparents did. And actually, these days, we're not living any longer than our parents did and barely much longer than our grandparents did. So we aren't waiting. We're technically not retiring. We're doing very careful planning and real boundaries on spending so that we can start to live our full life now.
So it's kind of like a business partnership. If temptation is getting the best of one of us, the agreement is we sit down and discuss the cost versus the enjoyment of this purchase.
So our strategy is to use this allotted amount of our savings and just go ahead and go for it now.
Meaning we're going to have to do some work camping along the way. We're going to be doing some short-term employment gigs in areas where we're willing to spend a couple of months.
Right. So if we want to go somewhere, then we'll see if there's work in that area and we'll just plan to be there for a while. Add to this, for multiple reasons, we want to keep a home. Now, for some of you, that could be as simple as buying an RV lot somewhere and you have a home base and you just plan to live there when you want to in your RV. For us, we wanted an actual home that we could return to from time to time to get refreshed, or if we decide that we don't like RVing full time, then we would have a place to return to permanently.
And this may not be as risky as the way some other people are doing it, but when we set out to do this, we weren't trying to be risky or challenge ourselves. We just wanted to do something unconventional as far as our life and being able to go and travel and be in an RV. The other thing is we didn't want to be locked down based on full-time employment.
Right. And so our financial advisor had told us if we just get the home paid off first, then they thought that we were in an okay shape to carry out this plan. But when we calculated that, it was going to take us like 10 years at the least. So that's not what we're doing.
So instead what we're doing is we're selling this home and we're going to take the equity and we're going to buy a house cash in an area where home prices are substantially less.
And we're cutting our cost of living everywhere that we can.
The more stuff we buy, the longer we put off our dreams, and it's less likely we're going to make those dreams actually happen.
Yeah, that stuff, you know, the stuff we keep talking about, maybe that's what's actually keeping your real dream from happening.
It might be time to think about that. Maybe it's the stuff that's preventing you from what you actually want. And maybe you're just purchasing all that stuff because you don't really believe that you can really make this dream happen.
Most things only give you satisfaction for a short time, and then the shiny thing wears off and you go looking for the next fix, and it's just like a trap.
And we've got a lot accomplished to get this lakefront home ready to sell. So we're going to be way too busy to go shopping anyways.
I think I could fit some shopping in. I keep looking at the ads. I even have loaded up my cart on the computer, but I stopped.
Yeah, and we've also been looking at storage facilities, and a lot of them are filling up, and they're charging the highest prices I've ever seen.
It's like George Carlin said, have you ever noticed how other people's stuff is crap, but your crap is stuff?
Right, and we've actually had arguments over what is crap and what is stuff.
And one thing he's convinced me of is that a lot of the power tools don't make sense to get rid of because they're going to cost way more to buy them again, and we will need them again. So right now we're looking at what is crap to both of us and what is stuff to both of us.
Right. Now we are selling a lot of my older tools, ones that I've replaced with newer versions, and because I do a lot of my maintenance myself, whether it's home maintenance or RV maintenance, I like to do all that myself. I really don't like to hire other people to do it because I'm pretty anal about how I want it done.
So that's why he needs all his tools.
Correct.
And most furniture in home decor is replaceable, and so a lot of that is going to go. I do like to find older pieces of furniture and refinish them myself anyways, so I've had to figure out, yep, that's probably the best plan.
Yeah, and what we're doing is we're trying to whittle everything down, and we're trying to be in agreement of this so we can fit everything into one storage unit.
Right, hopefully a big one.
Yeah, and the other issue is moving vans like U-Haul and others are hard to come by these days.
Yeah, because there's a rental car shortage having to do with the chips that are on back order and out at sea somewhere, and so people are actually renting U-Hauls just to have a rental vehicle to drive around town.
We had our first yard sale last week, and that was only the first layer of crap.
Yeah. Next week we're gonna have yard sale number 2, and that's the stuff that was in all the cupboards that we couldn't get to because there was crap in front of them.
Yeah, and 11 years ago, we moved from a 4,000 square foot house into this 1,500 square foot house and sold a lot of crap along the way. But since then, we've accumulated a lot more crap.
Yeah, and the yard sales are really good for small stuff and lower value items.
But using apps like OfferUp, Craigslist, and also LetGo, you can actually target the people that are looking for the stuff that you're trying to sell.
It's great, but you have to be careful. You should never give out any personal information, and in fact, OfferUp sets it up that way so that you're not giving out any personal information. If you're a single female, I would recommend not giving out any personal information, not letting somebody come to your property, meet someone somewhere else, and possibly bring someone with you. Obviously, we don't have to sell as much as somebody who's not keeping a home base and has to pretty much fit everything in the RV or keep it in storage. So because of that, we have it a little easier.
Right, and because we're cutting costs, we have to weigh the value of something over what it costs to actually store it for 6 months.
Right. Because we purchased a new build home, it won't be ready until next summer.
Right, and what we ended up doing is we called to get an estimate from the pod company, you know, where they bring that, basically that storage unit, and they put it in your driveway, and then you put all your junk into it, then they take it back and store it for you until you need it.
Right. So I called them, and to have one large container, and they said I would still need another small container and have it stored for 4 months and then delivered to the new house, it was going to run over $6,000.
And we don't have $6,000 worth of crap.
So we just can't justify keeping a lot of our stuff.
And we're going to keep the things that cost too much to replace. At least it costs more than it would to store them.
And we have a very few special furniture pieces, and then all the things like the photos and records and things like that, we don't have time to scan them before we have to be out of the house, so we'll be taking those with us too.
Right. The rest has to go, so instead of shredding it or paying somebody to shred it, we're going to enjoy a nice evening by the fire.
And you know what feels even better than selling all our stuff?
Burning it.
Yeah. This is much more enjoyable than hitting the mall or fighting online to get to the last things before they run out.
The whole point of RV living, at least for the majority of us, is to enjoy experiences instead of things.
And not going into debt to do those experiences, which will make you not enjoy them as much if you're worried about the money.
They call it nomad living, location independent lifestyle, RV living, and tons of other names. The enticement is you get to feel free and control of your own destiny.
You have to keep this in mind and remember what keeps you truly happy. And there's always a difference between what you need and what makes you smile for a minute, and then you have to dust it.
Right, so take a picture instead, and you can keep your entire photo album in your pocket now, just on your cell phone.
In the coming weeks, we'll try to keep you in the loop of our progress and how we're approaching this huge change.
So that's where we're at. We're going to be spending the entire winter in our RV exclusively, whether we're going to be in Quartzsite or also in Tucson.
And we do love hearing from so many of you, whether it's about the adventure that you're on or your particular RV and why you chose it.
And we hope that our experiences are helping you prepare for your RV life.
Right, and if you enjoy our videos, please share them with your family and friends.
And for the stuff that you really need for this RV lifestyle, like solar power or lithium batteries, please use our links down in the description below.
We may receive a small commission on some of the purchases you make at no additional cost to you, and it does help offset some of the costs of running this channel.
And if you haven't yet subscribed, make sure and hit that subscribe button.
And ring that bell so you'll be notified each time we put up a new video.
And make sure to leave a comment so you can be part of the conversation.
Until next time,
See ya.
See ya.